What I'd like to do in this tutorial is demonstrate how we can use the Analysis ToolPak in Excel to generate descriptive statistics for a quantitative variable. What we have here in this sheet are data for 17 hypothetical students, their first name, their sex, their age in years, and their exam 1 score as a percent. We're going to generate descriptive statistics for the variable exam 1 for our first example. Come up to the Data tab, left mouse button to open that up, and you see in that ribbon to the far right hand side of that ribbon there is, under the grouping name Analysis, the Data Analysis tool. Move your cursor on top of that, left mouse button to select it, and that comes the range of different data analysis tools that are contained in the Analysis ToolPak. I'm just going to come and select Descriptive Statistics and click on the OK button. Now the very first thing we want to do is indicate what data we want to use, so we identify the input range for our variable. So move your cursor on top of this icon that's to the right of that box and click on that icon. Come, click and drag to highlight the data range that you want to use for the analysis. Click back on this button, and there you see it contains the information as to where the data are stored on this spreadsheet. Now I could have just typed in D1 colon D18, but I find it easier just to click and drag to highlight this. Now the data are grouped in columns, and that's how I recommend you always set up your flat files in Excel, is put the variables in columns and the cases in rows. Now I did select the very first cell that's at top of this column, and that is the variable label, not data for analysis, so I click on then the box next to the labels in first row. The output options, the default is it's going to create a new worksheet where it will place the results of this routine, or we could instead put the results on the same worksheet that we see here the data are stored. I'm just going to use the default and have a new worksheet created. Below that are the various statistics that will be generated, and I'm just going to work with these summary statistics, so I'll click in that box. Now I've identified all the information I need for the routine to run. Click OK, and you notice it created a sheet 1, a new sheet to the worksheet that includes the results then of this analysis, and you see all the various descriptive statistics that are generated here. Mean, standard error, median, mode are measures of central tendency. In terms of measures of dispersion, we have standard deviation, variance, and the range below that. We also see a kurtosis and skewness that get at the shape of the distribution. The sum is nothing more than adding up the values of all the cases that we have in this case. And then 17 is the count, the number of individuals. Now if you look at the output and just move your cursor through it, you notice this is just text. So what we could do if we wanted to, if I decided now, well, maybe I do want that output on the page where the data are, just click and highlight it, copy, and now click back, select the sheet where you want to paste the results. And there, it's just pasted as text. The exact same results. Let me go ahead and delete this though, and now let's demonstrate how we can create output for two variables or more than one variable at a time. I'm going to come up to Data, come over to Data Analysis, and still Descriptive Statistics. Now you notice it has the options from the last time I executed this command. I'm going to click on the icon and click and drag to highlight the data and the variable names at the top of each column for both age and exam 1. Click back on this icon. I do have labels in the first row, so make sure it's clicked, it's selected. Now let's go ahead. This time I'm going to put the output right on the exact same sheet. And how I'll do that is I just have to identify the first cell in the leftmost column, the upper left-hand cell of the output, where it will be, and let's say I'll put it into cell F2. And that's where it's going to start to put the output. going to click OK. And right there, it generates all the output that I wanted for those two variables, just like we had before. And there, I can open that up if I so choose. So that's how we can generate then results for two variables at a time, or we can do it for multiple variables, obviously, but we need to have those variables that are contiguous, one column right next to the other, in order to use the Analysis ToolPak in just one routine to generate all these descriptive statistics. I'm going to delete this output, and the last thing I'm going to demonstrate here is, let's say we wanted to generate summary statistics for the variable exam1 group by sex. How did males versus females do on the exam? I'm going to click and drag to highlight all of the data. Come up to data again. I'm going to come over to sort. And I'm going to sort by, I'm just going to sort by one level, and that's going to be the variable sex. Click OK. Now in this case, what I can do, let's say I want to generate the descriptive statistics for the variable exam1 for only females. Come back up to data, choose data analysis, and what I'm going to do here, click OK, and I'm going to click and drag to highlight only those cases that contain results for the variable for women in the class. Now you notice I did not select the very first exam one label at the very top, so I'll uncheck labels in the first row, and let's say I still want to put the output beginning in cell F2 and click OK. Now I can very easily go up to where column 1 is listed and just type in the results, exam 1 for females. So let me do the same thing now. I'll make this a little wider so we can see the results in terms of the labels very clearly. Now I'll go up to data again, data analysis, click on that, descriptive statistics, still want to use that, but now I'm going to change the cases and I'll just select those for all men. Click OK. And let's say I want to place the output beginning in cell I2. Click OK. There's the output. Make it so that, make the column a little wider so you can view all of the labels properly. And I'll just type in here now, exam 1 for males. Label it right away, that we know exactly which subgroup we're working with. And there you have it, the way in which we can use the Analysis ToolPak in Excel to very quickly and very easily generate summary statistics for a quantitative variable.